Welcome trainers, Watts here, and today we are going to be discussing what the best Island Guardian in Pokemon Sun and Moon is. So we're just going to be going over what each Island Guardian brings to the table in terms of ability and typing, because that's pretty much all we have to go off of right now. So let's just get right into this. So first off, we've got Tapu Koko. So Tapu Koko is an electric fairy type, which is a really good typing. I think the only other Pokemon with this typing is Dedenne. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this Pokemon is weak to only poison and ground, which aren't even that common of offensive typings, and it resists fighting, flying, bug, electric, dark, and immune to dragon. So that's a lot of resists and only 2 weaknesses, no 4 times weakness. And this Pokemon gets insane coverage. So covering over the fairy typing, it adds 2 times 2 super effective hits plus 3 times neutral, and that means that zero solo typings in the game will resist electric or fairy. So that's great coverage. And so its ability puts up electric terrain. Terrain prevents the effective Pokemon from being afflicted by sleep, and it also increases the damage done by electric type moves used by effective Pokemon by 50%. So that is a great ability. Electric terrain isn't worth it to waste a turn putting it up, but when you get it for free when this comes into the battlefield, that is extremely powerful. So no spores, no dark voids when that's a thing from Smeargle, that's going to be extremely useful, and the plus 50% damage to electric type moves is just great. So moving on, we got Tapu Lele. So Tapu Lele is a psychic fairy type, which isn't the best typing. It's weak to 3 different types and only resists 2, but one of those is a 4 times resist, and it obviously has the dragon immunity. So the coverage just adds plus 1 times 2 super effective and plus 1 neutral hit to the fairy typing, and so that means 1 solo type will resist. So it's decent coverage. And then for the ability, we've got Psychic Terrain, which is actually a new terrain implemented in Sun and Moon. And this one is going to prevent effective Pokemon from being hit by moves with increased priority. So that is insane. That is dazzling with an added effect of increasing damage done by Psychic type moves used by effective Pokemon, which I assume is just going to be 50%, just like Grassy Terrain, just like Electric Terrain. So that is an very powerful terrain. This is definitely going to be the best terrain out of all of them, because stopping priority moves is so strong in VGC. That's going to stop Fake Out, that's going to stop Talonflame, that's going to stop Follow Me. It's just Prankster, so many different things, and that's so powerful. It'll be interesting to see how popular this Pokemon is and how popular dazzling Pokemon are, and maybe it'll just cancel it out where these Pokemon are being used and the priority moves aren't being used. So it's kind of like a triangle situation where some people will have the stopping priority stuff, some people will see that their stopping priority stuff is a thing and then not run any priority, and then some people will see that the people that think that there isn't going to be or priority isn't going to be useful, and priority stopping isn't going to be useful because there's less priority, are going to still use priority. So it'll start kind of be a triangle thing. But anyway, this is definitely the best ability, but not the strongest typing. So this Pokemon is going to rely on stats just a bit. So moving on, we've got Tapu Fini. So Tapu Fini definitely has the best typing out of all of them. This is a water fairy, and that's going to add plus 3 super effective hits onto the fairy, and plus 2 neutral hits. So that means there's going to be 0 type resist, and just like with Tapu Koko, but you get an extra super effective hit, which is great. Now, compared to Tapu Koko, this adds 1 more weakness, or 1 more resistance, which isn't really worth it, but it is worth it for the coverage being slightly better. So I think overall, Water Fairy is a better typing than Electric Fairy. So as for the ability, it puts a Misty Terrain, which has the same effect as Tapu Koko, ignoring sleep, which is great, and it also has the damage taken from Dragon type moves by effective Pokemon. So that's nice for your ally, but as for Fini, she's already immune to Dragon, and you usually rather get a damage increase rather than ignoring damage from a specific type, especially since I don't think dragons are going to be that great at all in this meta. I think the Island Guardians are actually going to define the metagame. I think they're that powerful. So I'd really be surprised if the dragons were super popular. So yeah, that's about it on Tapu Fini. Moving on to Tapu Bulu. This is actually my favorite one, even though I think it's one of the weaker ones. So this one's typing is pretty lackluster, grass and fairy. It's got a lot of resistances. Is it tied with Tapu Lele? That's 6. Yeah, it's tied with Tapu Fini, and it's going to be weak to 5 different types, and one of those is going to be 4 times weakness. So that's not the best typing. It's really not worth it. But as for the coverage, you get +3 times 2 super effective hits, which is good, but 0 added neutral effectives, which means there's going to be 3 solo type resist. So grass doesn't really complement fairy that well. You get a lot of extra coverage as super effective hits, but no neutral that covered what fairy can't hit, so you still can't hit those types. So that's really unfortunate. But as for grassy terrain, I actually think this is one of the strongest ones, one of the strongest terrains, like up there with Tapu Lele. So for this one, at the end of each turn, the terrain restores the HP of each affected Pokemon by 1/16 of the maximum HP. That is insane for a bulky team. If this thing is bulky enough to counteract his weaknesses, he'll definitely be useful, because being able to add a leftovers effect to both you and your ally in doubles is really, really insane. And for free, with when this just comes in, you don't have to even put up the grassy terrain. That's really insane. Obviously, your opponent gets it as well, but you're going to be restoring more HP, assuming your team is tankier. So it also increases damage done by grass-type moves used by the affected Pokemon by 50%. And that is actually great for this specific one, whereas Tapu Koko, your opponent is more likely to benefit off of it, but grass is a really underutilized offensive typing, so you're guaranteed to use it, and your opponent isn't really that likely to use it. So that's really nice. And grassy terrain actually has a third effect, where most of these have 2. This one makes the power of Earthquake, Magnitude, and Bulldoze halved. So that is insane. Earthquake is obviously a great move for doubles. Bulldoze is pretty okay. It's not used too often, but it's an okay move. It's like an Icy Wind. So being able to have the power of Earthquake and Bulldoze, that's really, really nice, just on top of the already existing effects you get. So as for my rank for all of these, this was really, really, really hard to decide which one of these Island Guardians was the best, because, you know, they all feel so good, in my opinion. I think they're all really insane. Being able to get up terrains for free when they enter is so good. All their stats need to be is pretty decent, and they'll be good. Plus, fairy typing is one of the best typings in the game, so having that is already a plus side. So let's just move on to my rank. So as for my rank, I'm going to put Tapu Koko at 1, Tapu Lele at 2, Tapu Fini at 3, and Tapu Bulu at 4. Now, as for the first 3, this was extremely hard to decide which order they would be in. Tapu Bulu is definitely the 4th. Even though it's my favorite, it's obviously weaker than the other 3. Still useful, but obviously weaker. But as for the first 3, it was so hard to find the correct order on these, because I jumped around a lot. Like, Tapu Fini has the best typing in my opinion, but the worst ability out of all 4. So I, in the end, decided to put it at number 3. Whereas, like, Tapu Koko has a little bit weaker coverage, but still basically the best typing, a little bit under Fini, just slightly. But its ability is way better, because instead of having damage from Dragon type moves, you get to increase your damage on Electric type moves, which is great. Also, Tapu Koko works with Alolan Raichu, which Swiss Storm is insane. Raichu was already good. Alolan Raichu is probably going to be insane, so Tapu Koko gets a plus sign for that. And then as for Tapu Lele's ability is just too good to count out. Its typing is subpar. It's not bad by any means, it's just subpar. Its coverage is okay. Or it's pretty good, actually. It's not the best. But its ability is just so incredible. Being able to negate priority moves is something that's you can't put that aside. And it also increases the damage of our Psychic type moves, which is great. So in the end, I decided to order it this way, whereas 1, 2, and 3, I feel like are so extremely powerful, and Bulu I think is very viable. So it was really hard to decide the order, but this is what I decided on. So yeah, make sure to tell me what you think is the best. Let's keep a discussion going, because obviously I'm not going to be correct straight from the get-go. This is an opinion, so yeah, let me know what you think about it. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe, make sure to like, make sure to share this on social media, get the message out there about why these Island Guardians are so powerful for BGC. I've seen some people saying that they don't even think they're that strong, which I think is insane. I think the Island Guardians are literally going to define the metagame. And yeah, let me know if you agreed with me, let me know if you didn't. Let's keep a discussion going, and thanks for watching, guys. Peace.